Fixed Ferrari is the wreckfest of iRacing. But occasionally you do have good races in it, and this was one of those good races. So that's why I am presenting it here on the YouTube channel. Now you can let me know in the comments if you enjoy voiceover muscle, or if you'd rather I just shut up and you can just watch the race in the future. It's up to you. But here we go. The race is off and we've skillfully qualified in 17th. Second to last. It's a great place to start a race, especially in something as clean, safe and tidy as the fixed Ferrari. But we go for the send up the inside there into T1. I'm surprised we got away with that. Normally the car in front would just turn into you. They didn't. And then we also have a little sniff on the right there, but can't find it. And at the start of the race here with this, it's a lot of it is about just keeping your eye right into the distance to see what's going off in the distance, if there's any explosives, any flying cars, and then you can sort of prepare yourself. As we do another send up the inside, take advantage of him braking a bit too early, only to be greeted by someone doing a 360 no-scope desert drift. Now, absolute jam here. I wanted to go, but I thought probably not, and I was rewarded there for being patient. It turns out you don't need to send the car into every single opportunity that's presented towards you. You know, especially in the first lap, you can take it a little bit easy. I mean, if there's an easy opportunity, go for it. But you know, there's no point in sandwiching yourself like they did. And as you can see, we've got some nice positive chat in the game. I love iRacing's voice chat. You can't beat angry people from around the world screaming at each other. So after the first lap of superb, clean,
still have four wheels,
iRacing, we have found ourselves in 11th place, and we've gone from minus 83 iRating to a potential of minus 17 iRating. So still in the negatives there in terms of the points, and a part of that with the fixed Ferrari is that it's one of the rookie series, so you get a lot of low rated drivers in it. You also get a lot of high-rated drivers in it as well. There's a huge spread. It's absolutely crazy. It's positively the worst series to join if your goal is to try and build iRating, if you're playing the iRacing game, which to be honest is the only reason to play iRacing. So you're an idiot to do fixed Ferrari, especially if you qualify last or don't qualify. If you could qualify in the top three, maybe less of an idiot. But then if you have an accident that wasn't your fault, you know, you're going to lose all those internet points. And as I say, it's the only reason to play iRacing. So now we're in a state, basically, of trying to chase this car in front. It turned out that Andrew Hennessy had godlike car control skills like me and managed to avoid the accidents. And also has pretty good pace. As you can see, he actually had the same iRating as us as well.
Scooby 4K.
So the chase commences here as we saw a car drive off the road there, Sebastian Barbaros, and he's now holding up Andrew Hennessy. And this is the nice thing, is you find this a lot in the GT3 cars. People get stuck behind another car that's slower than them, but because GT3 cars are wider than your average cross-channel ferry or your parked evergreen container freight ship, it's very hard to get overtakes. So you can be faster, but you get stuck behind a vehicle and it bunches everyone up, which gives you a chance to catch up with people, and it keeps the grid more compacted, which is one of the small positives of GT3 racing. If there are any positives, I'm really stretching things to try and find positives. As we see, Andrew Hennessy has a little look up the inside there, but he couldn't quite get it to go through, so we had to back out of it as we launch over the corkscrew. I'm just falling behind this here, and I'm thinking to myself, there's a good chance they're going to crash. So in some ways, it's nice to have a few meters gap between these cars, so that if they do crash, we can avoid it. But there you go, look at that. That was an absolutely superb, butter smooth, silky send from Andrew Hennessy on Sebastian Barrios number 2. And he got through there. Now I'm confronted with the wall of Sebastian. Tried to go up the inside there, couldn't get anything out of it. Got me a little bit offline. This is another thing with GT3. And look at that entry. Look at that slide. Go for try and capitalise on this using a bit of desert.
Good drift by the red car.
Couldn't get it through there. Great catch by Andrew Hennessy. He clearly did the brake accelerator trick in iRacing. If you're sliding and you're going to spin and it's uncatchable, brake and accelerate at the same time and the car sort of stabilises out. I probably didn't need to be that aggressive there, but I was like, oh, it's an opportunity and I don't want Andrew to get away from us because I need those internet points. But fortunately, Sebastian was actually a very sensible driver. He squeezed us perfectly fine. And it all worked out. And there you go. Through the corkscrew, we got a fantastic exit. He was a bit loose on the exit. His traction control, I think, bogged down. And the netcode gods ran aside. We managed to throw it up the inside of his car and get through there. So we're now on the tail of Mr. Hennessy again. The red car versus the blue car. Great driving though so far. Really nice. Little battles there. And that's the thing. So if you're fast in the car in front, even if you can't get an overtake, and I've noticed this a lot in iRacing with the GT3 cars, it really does pay to actually pressure the car in front by just being close to them. And even if you have no intention of actually making an overtake, I have found that it's worth pressuring them, because it's very likely that they will then make a mistake that you can then capitalise on a later date. So the more that you present yourself as a complete and utter psychopath, the more opportunities will likely arise. And I think part of that...
Hello, Liv Racer. Thanks for subscribing with Prime.
Shut up, past gamer muscle.
Really appreciate the support.
He doesn't appreciate it. He's an ungrateful arse. Part of the thing with the pressuring mistakes in iRacing, and part of the thing with iRacing is it's such an unforgiving simulator. The smallest of mistakes can really just throw you off the track and cause massive issues. As you see there, we've just got a car in the pit, and that was car number... He was in 4th place.
Pit there. Another, we're 9th.
So that actually, I think, put us in the green. We were on -6.
Market report, guys.
And we went to plus 5 iRating. So we were in positive internet points. That's once you're in positive internet points on iRacing, you can... I wouldn't say relax, but you know that you're not embarrassing yourself, and you know that you're not wasting your life playing a pointless video game, that you're imbuing more to it than what it's actually worth. Points always make things worthwhile. Focus on those extrinsic motivators is the key to happiness in life, is what I always say. So now it really is a case of chase the red car. We are 8 minutes into a 15-minute race, so there's not that many laps in this. That's another thing with the fixed Ferrari, and I think this is what contributes to the absolute madness of the fixed Ferrari races, is because it's a 15-minute race, there really isn't much time to get your overtakes done, and especially with GT3 cars, generally speaking, and you find this more if you do the VRS races or just longer GT3 races on low fuel motorsport, ACC, or any simulator with GT3. This is why they're used partially for endurance racing as well, or why endurance racing works with them. Normally when everyone's competitive, people are going to be lapping within a few tenths, so to close a gap of 10 meters, it's going to take many laps and a lot of time. So the sprint format's a bit of the super sprint format of 15 minutes is a little bit weird with fixed Ferrari, but or with GT3, but it's good fun, you know. But it does encourage people to absolutely dive bomb early on, so that those gaps don't appear that you then can't catch up. Of course, if you do get into the draft of the car in front of you, which is normally on a track like Laguna Seca, it's probably like 0.7 seconds down the straight. Once you get within a second of the car in front, you sort of get sucked towards them, and you're putting pressure on them, they'll make mistakes. But if you go outside that 1 second, as you can see here, we're having to dig deep to close that 1.5 second gap. on the car in front. But I have to say, and this is surprising to me because I'm not really, I'm not the biggest fan of GT3. I'm more of a, I prefer tighter, more nimble cars. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed as a child going to France on hovercrafts once. I didn't go to France on a hovercraft. Went to the Isle of Wight on a hovercraft once before they were got rid of because a hovercraft is a stupid mode of transport for a very choppy piece of sea. But no, I went to France a lot on cross-channel ferry, so I do. That's one of the reasons why I like GT3. I do enjoy the nostalgia of going in a boat reasonably quickly on a journey. But yeah, no, it's caught me out by surprise. It's fun being doing the GT3 and then trying to close the gaps that emerge. You're just focusing and just eating away at a car in front that you know you can catch. You can see the delta decreasing. You can see your pace increasing. It's actually, I'm admitting it's actually quite fun, even though GT3 is terrible and a bit of a disease. You can see here we're down to 1 second gap basically. And this was actually our first fixed Ferrari race at Laguna Seca, I think. So that's my excuse for being slow. Those of you that are good at this. I'm also not very good at sim racing unless I put a lot of practice in. So that, again, that's 2 excuses for our pace. But look at this. Absolutely sense. This is a good way to know if you're if you need to practice more or if you've got more pace. Is if your session best lap delta is going up and down by multiple tenths. You're not at a consistent level. You've got way more to get. As Andrew Hennessy goes wide there, and I try and sneak one up the inside. Here we go. Keep the pressure there. He's on the inside for that though. I can't cut back across and get the momentum. We try though. Can't get the car in there enough to justify it. Sometimes, actually on iRacing, a lot of the time people would do that move and then they cut back and they just drive into you as if you're not there. I back out of it because I'm a very sensible, thoughtful and caring sim racer. I never drive into people. And you'll see at the end of this race, certainly the case, is we've got another free position there. Thank you very much for that donation. Really appreciated that. But I know that I'm in the killing zone here. 0.3 second gap. I know I've got the pace. Just don't do anything stupid. We just need to get the overtake done. There's only a few minutes left. Full sunshine, windscreen wiper action there. Only in iRacing.
Oh, thank you. Wiggly Nips has been gifted a tier 1 sub by... I was gifted a tier 1 sub to Very Rare. Thank you very much.
Don't listen to that guy. I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
Really appreciate that.
Never trust a man with a pigeon above the head. That's my advice to you guys. So here we go. Look at this. We try and go for the send up the inside again. Can't make it happen. But I enjoy this. It's actually really nice driving quite close behind another car and watching that car's suspension move around and then drive a little bit erratically and then seeing how you can capitalise on it. And it's also quite nice following a car that clearly knows the track a bit better. So you can learn from them and you can relax a little bit because you've got the draft. So with the fixed Ferrari, you can be like 2 tenths slower, and it's a bit like the Skip Barber. The draft will pull you in. It's just a case of us not doing anything stupid, and of course I never do anything stupid. I would never mess up an easy corner by putting my car on the dust and almost spinning from doing that.
Oh, God. Our tyre got hooked up on the dirt there.
So we've now made it a bit harder for ourselves with a 0.8 second gap. We were very lucky to catch that. The opposite lock one-handed counter steer coming into effect there. That was almost a opportunity to do the brake accelerator iRacing catch.
One-handed karate chop save.
But we're literally coming up to the... this is the second to last lap here, and the car in front's escaping the draft. It keeps going in a bit too deep there. It's a weird one with the especially with the fixed setup. Sometimes you can actually slide it into T1 there and and then get a better momentum on the exit. Other times the tighter line is better. It's if you activate the traction control in.
Trying.
in a way that's not useful, or if you can avoid getting the traction control. And then you've got the question of the car behind you. For me personally, I quite like to just take the tighter line through T1, as it, on average, no, it probably isn't the fastest way to take corner, but on average, on balance, I find it protects me from cars sending out the inside, and you still get an okay lap time. Look at this, we didn't mess it up that time. Absolutely beautiful stuff here. Trying to send it through there as we now come to the end of this lap, which is going to be the beginning of the final lap once we've passed the start-finish line. We have worked him down to 0.6 from the previous lap. Fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. What happens at the end of this race, I'm not proud of. We'll save it. We'll save it. But you can see we're chasing him. We're getting on his tail. Absolutely superb. But as I say, sometimes it's fun. Not, you know, this isn't for first place. Sometimes it's fun just driving through a racetrack, trying to keep with another guy that's a similar pace to you, trying to work out the puzzle of how to beat them. I think, I think the more you sim race, the more you sort of just appreciate good racing as opposed to winning. You still like to win, but you move from, oh, you have to win otherwise it's pointless, to you just want to have good races, or something that puts pressure on you, something that makes you drive better. You know, that's a win's nice, but how you win is more important. There's a life lesson there, but you do get more iRating if you win, and the only reason to play iRacing is iRating. So I take back everything I just said. But here we go. Look at this, 0.4 second gap. Don't do anything silly. Torpedo.
I think that was all right. I think he lost it on the outside of the corner. Woo! Was that all right? I think we were okay. Sorry if that was my fault. I think I was all right. I think, but sorry if I did hit you there.
You guys in the comment section can tell how much we need to put in the guiltometer. It was a ludicrous send from far too back. It was a pure torpedo. We did get the car slowed down into the apex. He did brake early. He did leave the inside open. But, wow, I know you really shouldn't send your car from a few planets away into that corner, really. And you can see here, tiny bit of netcode tap, and that's what got him rotating. Sorry, Andrew Hennessy. I did try and knock you back. I wasn't just ploughing through you. No, I did just plough right through in there. Look, double tap. Bringing SAS tactical techniques to sim racing. Sorry, Andrew Hennessy. It was awesome racing him and following him. And we had some great moments in that race. Hopefully he doesn't feel too bad about that. And he's still gained iRating. That's all that matters. Well, there you go, guys. I mean, let me know what you thought of this video. Do you enjoy this? A bit of sort of me talking over my own content. This is a bit weird for me. It's me watching me talking over me. I probably need to do another video with me talking about this video, but I'd have to do it in a different voice, otherwise it'd be really hard to hear what I was saying. Either way, click the like button, subscribe, follow us on Twitch. Links in the description. We'll have more content soon. Been having a lot of fun sim racing recently. That's the end of this video. I probably could brush up on making the endings a bit better. I've only been YouTubing for over a decade, so we'll get there eventually. Till the next one, guys. Happy tea drinking, and goodbye.